We see Becky and Carl, who are siblings, traveling in their car and going somewhere. Becky is pregnant and suddenly feels like vomiting, and they stop the car. Becky is worried, going back to her parents' house and telling them about the baby, and she wants to go back. Carl tells her not to worry about anyone but only herself, and they decide to continue their journey. Suddenly, Becky hears a young boy calling for help from nearby grass field. They decide to help the boy, and Carl goes to nearby church to park the car. Becky hears the boy calling for help, but the boy's mother tells her not to call anyone. We come to know the boy's name is Tobin, and he begs Becky to help him, saying he is stuck here from days. Carl decides to help Tobin and goes in first, and Becky decides to follow him. Becky tries to call the police, but does not receive any reception inside and realizes she is separated from Carl. Carl can hear Becky and Tobin but can't find them and realizes his phone and specs are in the car. Becky says they should find each other first and sings a song so Carl can follow her voice and locate her. Carl realizes that Becky's sound keeps coming from different direction and feels something is wrong here. He asks her to jump in air with her hand high so they can see where they are exactly. They jump and see they are close by and jump again to see now they are much further away. They feel scared and are shocked to see this, and Carl starts running towards Becky and falls in mud. He gets up and sees a dead dog nearby named Freddy with insects on it and gets scared. Becky says they need to worry about themselves and forget the kid and find the road. Later, Becky finds a man named Ross who says he is Tobin's father and looking for him and his wife. Ross says it will be dark soon and they should be together to find others, and Becky agrees. Ross says to be close to him since everything is strange here, and they start searching for Carl. At night, Carl is still searching for Becky when he meets Tobin, who is wearing dirty clothes. Tobin says the grass won't move dead things and buries a dead bird from his hand in the path. Tobin says he got in here when he heard a man call for help and ever since is stuck here. He says this is how people are tricked to come inside and Becky will soon die. Tobin says there is a rock here which knows everything and it can tell about Becky. Tobin tells Carl to follow him to the rock if he wants to find Becky, and Carl agrees. While talking to Ross, Becky says she is 6 months pregnant and the father, Travis, did not want the baby. Becky finds some medicines and scissors on the ground and feels strange and is suddenly attacked by someone. Tobin and Carl reach the rock where Tobin touches it and says he feels good and asks Carl also to touch it. Carl approaches the rock and hears some noise coming from it, but suddenly hears Becky screaming and goes after her. Next, we see Travis, who is searching for Becky and Carl and passes by the church near the grass. He notices their car is parked and goes to inspect it and finds it is standing here for many days. He goes inside the church, but finds the door is locked and goes outside to find Becky's book on the ground. He goes inside the grass and follows the sun in a straight line and ties up grass to keep a track. The grass unties itself and Travis sees the sun has moved in a different direction. At night, Travis hears some noise and meets Tobin, who tells him to be quiet so the noise goes away. Tobin says the noise belongs to all people stuck here and asks Travis why he doesn't remember him. Travis says he is meeting Tobin for first time and Tobin is surprised to hear this. He tells Travis he knows where Becky is and asks him to follow him closely, and they run to a location. Tobin takes Travis to Becky's dead body and Travis starts crying as he cannot believe this. In the morning, Travis gets up and takes a locket from Becky's hand and hears someone calling for help. We see Tobin and his family are outside the grass and Travis calls Tobin for help. Freddy and Tobin enter the grass and their parents follow them, telling us how they got here. We come to know time moves differently here and Travis tells them not to come inside, but it's already late. Ross and her wife and Tobin all get separated from each other and it becomes night there. Ross is angry on his family and while searching for them, finds the rock and approaches it. The next morning, we see another version of Becky and Carl entering the grass and someone watching them from the church. Travis hears them talking and calls for help, and they are surprised to hear Travis is also here. Tobin tells he found his dog, which is dead, and Travis tells everyone to follow Tobin's voice and meet there. They all meet at Tobin's place, and Becky asks Travis what is going on and how he came here. Travis says the grass does not move dead things and came here looking for them. Travis says Becky's parents got worried when they didn't come to home for 2 months and he came here searching for them. Travis says they should keep moving, and Becky agrees as she feels someone is watching them. Travis makes Tobin sit on his shoulders to see the area, and Tobin notices a building which is far away. They start moving in that direction, and Becky feels the baby kicking her in the stomach. Becky says that she is having a girl and asks Travis to touch and feel the stomach. Suddenly, they get a call on Becky's phone, which is a message which says to protect Travis from Carl, and they should not repeat the same mistakes again. Becky tries to talk to the woman, but the call gets disconnected, and everyone is shocked to hear this message. They keep moving, and the grass enters Becky's uterus. She feels pain, and she passes out. Ross comes there and helps them revive Becky and is happy to meet his son Tobin. Ross says he knows the way out of here, and Tobin checks for the building but can't find it. Everyone decides to follow Ross, and they arrive at the rock. Ross says this rock knows the way out of here and puts his hand on it and feels something. He tells everyone to put their hand on it, and Carl decides to do it, but Ross's wife Natalie comes there and stops him. Natalie says Ross is lying and not to trust him. She also says she saw Becky's dead body some time back. Natalie says Ross tried to kill her too, but Ross says she is confused without any food and water. Becky and others decide to leave from there, and Ross asks them to believe him and touch the rock. Travis says no, so Ross attacks him and injures him, and then smashes Natalie's head and kills her. Everyone gets scared and runs from there, and they meet another Freddy who is alive, who takes them to the building. They see the building is abandoned, and Tobin says they will keep coming back alive if they stay in the grass. Carl is angry on Travis and blames him for the situation, and he never wanted the baby, but now suddenly cares for Becky. Travis says he is sorry for his behavior and says Carl is in love with her sister and wants to protect her. Carl gets angry on Travis, and they both hitting each other, but suddenly hear a noise and run from there. They escape to the terrace and close the door with a rod and search for a way out. Carl and Travis see Freddy has managed to escape the field via a portal that leads to the road. They go to check the portal, and Travis slips from the roof. Carl purposely pushed him down. We come to know Carl was jealous and really in love with her sister, and Tobin sees this. Ross has reached the roof through another portal, and everyone escapes from there. Becky asks about Travis, and Carl lies to her saying she is coming soon. Becky does not believe him, and Ross comes there and Carl, who tries to run from him. Ross catches Carl and suffocates him, and we see he has been killed many times by Ross. Travis has survived the fall and goes searching for Becky. They can hear each other on opposite sides of the field, and Travis tells her about Carl. Becky says she was going to give up the baby for adoption, but now wants to live with her. Travis says he is going to make sure they get out of here, but Becky is suddenly attacked by Ross. Becky escapes after stabbing Ross in the eye, and a thunderstorm begins. Becky is confronted by grass creatures who carry her to the rock, and she gets scared. Becky makes a phone call, pleading for her past self to prevent Carl from hurting Travis. Becky suddenly feels pain, and we see the rock has drawings relating to Becky's pregnancy. The ground opens up, and many creatures start coming out of it, and Becky gets scared and passes out. Becky wakes up to see she has delivered the baby, and Carl takes care of her and the baby. Carl feeds Becky some grass, telling she needs her strength, but Becky finds the taste weird. She realizes it was Ross who has killed the baby and was feeding her that, and screams for help. Travis hears her and finds Becky unconscious and sees the baby is gone. Tobin comes there and talks about the baby and how his father is killing them repeatedly. They are suddenly attacked by Ross, who hits Travis and finds a knife and badly injures Travis. Ross tries to make Tobin touch the rock, but Becky attacks Ross and scratches out his other eye with her necklace. Becky dies from her wound, and Travis attacks Ross and suffocates him with grass and kills him. Travis cries seeing Becky is dead and realizes the only way to understand the grass is to touch the rock. Travis touches the rock and sees a series of strange visions and learns about this place. He then grabs Tobin's hand and guides him through the grass to an exit and gives him Becky's necklace. He tells Tobin to stop Becky and Cal from entering the grass, and Tobin finds himself outside. Tobin comes out in the church across the road and sees Becky and Cal are about to enter the grass. He convinces them to stay out by showing them Becky's necklace and says Travis gave him this. Becky is convinced after looking at the necklace and stops Carl from entering the grass. They decide to leave from there, and this closes the loop, and Becky says they should back home. Becky decides to keep her baby, and Tobin also goes with them. We see Travis, who is still stuck in the grass, hears them leave in the car and dies peacefully in the grass.